It is absolutely just wickedly self-centered, and it has defined our culture for the last 60 years, maybe even more. And then the other value is affluency, and that is materialism, the abundance of things, and success, being seen as the abundance of things, and to praising that and worshiping that as the pinnacle of achievement is to be surrounded with material possessions, even if it's at the expense of moral and ethical character and fortitude. Now you couple those two ideals with the ideal of the generation before that, which was worshiping institutions, and everything had to be institutionalized, and it degraded the individual. So you take generation institution ideas, you couple them with generation I'm the center of the universe ideas, and then you couple it with this final generation, which is there's no such thing as right and wrong. Pragmatism is what we must achieve. You've got a Maltese cocktail for society, and it's hucked through the air. And when that sucker hits the pavement, boom, it's going to go. This empire is collapsing, and these people here have a duty to get beyond the harm that might come to us for striking out and being a leader. Now is no time for trepid leadership. We are going to demoralize and discourage as a body. We would demoralize and discourage the people of America if we came out of here with an anemic, unprincipled, compromising, self-serving, I don't want any skin off of my nose document. That is not what people need right now.
Yeah, well,
people are scared, and they're scared for good reason, and they need courageous leaders that are going to say the truth and say, let come what may. We pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honors. Life and fortune, man, that just sticks a dagger in the heart of those baby boomer values of personal peace and affluence.
Well, it really does, and I get a lot of that you're not being civil attitude. And this civility run amok, it's the new tolerance. And I get a lot of it. I make video blogs on YouTube, and people seem to think I'm advocating, let's all grab our guns and go up to D.C. and just start shooting people. And I've had to actually make videos saying that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we should speak what we want. We have a right, a God-given right, First Amendment right to say what we want to say. Mm-hmm. We don't have to worry about that, oh, no, we can't say that because they'll construe it to this, or you're advocating that. I'm not doing anything of the sort.
Yeah.
I'm speaking my mind in historical context to look around you. Look around you to the history that we've seen in just the last 200 years. We can't even, we're not repeating something that happened 10,000 years ago. We're repeating something that happened less than
200 years ago.
Well, if you look at it, World War II.
6 months ago.
Or 6 months ago.
It happened in Iceland. But, of course, mainstream media never covers that. They keep the lid on any revolutions. But you know what? Iceland, 6 months ago, they inflated their currency. They just got out of control. And that's one of the characteristics of politicians. They are out of control because they are addicted to exercising force arbitrarily over other people. And they're controlled by that addiction. And the tool to achieve force over other people is generally inflating the money supply. Because if you control the purse, you control everything. Whoever writes the checks is king, and so that's how they become king. But they inflate it until it collapses. See, governments, here's an adage that you gotta remember, because it'll give you hope every time you see some horrible thing that our government's doing. Governments grow till they pop, and then you get a second shot. That's true. All right? So every time you see somebody going into the balloon of government, the end is getting closer, Just pump that sucker up, man, and have it blast in your face, and let's get on with it. Yeah, we've got a duty to rebuild. Iceland, it collapsed. They inflated their currency. Boom, it collapsed. Everybody was like, man, this is such a fandango. This is such a goat rope. I think I smelled a lynching on Monday morning. So that week, over the weekend, everybody flew out of Iceland. The Prime Minister, both houses, all the politicians. They said they were evacuating the country because of civil unrest, but the truth of it is they screwed it up beyond all recognition and got the hell out of Dodge.
Probably go to their Swiss bank accounts.
Yeah, they got out of the country. And the people are left there Monday morning, you know, this is not a test. We don't have a government anymore. You know? And then that's how and then they start rebuilding. And this body needs to be crouched to step up and return to the rule of law when our lawless government suffers the natural consequences of their irresponsibility. Oh, by the way, that's the same way that, not that we need a Castro, but just to prove the cyclical point and the validity of that, that's how Castro got in charge of Cuba. The government just grew till it popped, and Castro was the first one to show up at the Capitol.
Well, that's what I've noticed, and one of the thoughts I had about the Continental Congress here is that it's a fantastic opportunity to organize citizen leadership to replace that which has run amok, and when it finally runs away, after they've gotten the point that we're not going away, we have a leadership body here that can help organize at the state level to hopefully do something about that.
Yeah.
If we can get past the petty little things. I keep seeing motions that are put forward that are dealing with 1 word or 2 words or 3 words, and so nothing's getting done on these things because they're dealing with that instead of, to me, my approach would be to let's get it done, and then let's go back and we can work on amendments. But we need to get some stuff out of here because we want to do this again.
I'm with you, man.
We need to do this again.
I was pushing on that. Yeah, people are counting on us. But here, let me address that too, because there's some wrong presuppositions that we must not, that have adversely affected our current disaster of government that we don't want to absorb ourselves. And you know, the only thing harder than learning is unlearning. And we're going to have to unlearn a lot of things in America if we're going to have another shot work out. I mean, learning's easy.
Well,
you pick stuff up, but unlearning.
We see it all the time. How do you tell the Federal Reserve isn't federal? There's no reserves, but you tell somebody that, they think you're crazy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, that's because we measure everything by ourselves. You know, we are the measure of all things. Truth is a product of consensus. You know, and that's not. I mean, that's absurd. That's logically absurd. So what I was going to say is that there's a sentiment in this Continental Congress that I am strongly opposed to. There's this feeling that says, look, we can't say, you know, resist with any and all means necessary, because then we're going to be liable for what other people might do. Okay? That logic, as well-meaning as the person that says that might be, that logic is carrying over the central control of human beings by an elite body idea to Continental Congress. And that is exactly what we're against. Every human being is autonomous. Every human being is responsible for their own actions. This body can't make anybody do anything. This Continental Congress is not responsible for anyone's actions. Everyone is responsible for their own actions. We can all get together and pledge to one another what we're going to do and muster mutual courage out of like-minded people being alongside you. But that's just more collectivism to say, oh my goodness, if we say the government is breaking the law and somebody goes and starts shooting judges or something, then we're liable for that. No. We don't own that person. We're against the concept of a group of people controlling other people. That's totally contrary. So that person, whoever says that, needs to unlearn. They need to unlearn the model and the mindset of a central body controlling the others.
Well,
that's
it's
just
pretty
more
nonsensical. I tell people all the
hey
time.
Man, it doesn't matter if it's nonsensical.
No, but
if
beyond
it's what
that,
you're used to.
Beyond that,
people say
I tell
ain't
people,
no, and it doesn't sound weird to them if they say it all their life.
If I don't care who comes into my house and tries to endanger me, I don't care what badge he has, or if he's a criminal, or whoever. As far as I'm concerned, he's threatening my life, he's threatening the life of my family, and if I have the opportunity, I'm going to shoot him.
Yeah.
Does that mean I'm then responsible for anyone that does such a thing? That's ludicrous.
I know.
But you and I know that. It's going to be the responsibility of the Continental Congress to provide some action steps to help educate people and some talking points that we can, the left and right.
Yeah.
They're really good at their talking points.
What kind of dictator do you want? Conservative or liberal?
Let's look at the health debate issue. I'm flipping, I'm watching C-SPAN until I can't take it anymore. I change, but I can't keep coming back. And right before they all voted, despite overwhelming opposition to the American people. It was as if if they're reading a script. Somebody handed each side.
What makes you think they're not?
Oh no, I think they are. I know they are. But somebody hands them a script and says, "Here are your talking points," and it's talking points for deception. Why not talking points for truth? Talking points that we can use with our neighbors and our friends, with websites and videos that we can just say, "Here, watch this," or here's a sheet of paper, some websites you should go to. You need to check this out, and help them educate themselves. I grew up in government education, which education, I use the term loosely. But that is
it was
indoctrination and conditioning.
It was conditioning.
And
Indoctrination's a little too